I had a dream that we were recording, and for some reason in my hands, I had keys, and I was like jingling them by the mic the whole time.
That was dumb. Why would you do that?
I don't know, but then I was like, how come nobody stopped me, Erin?
the only other person here. This is clearly my responsibility.
Stop me in my dream. I ruined the entire audio. And this is what I dream about.
Oh no, am I ruining it?
Am I ruining the podcast?
God damn!
Oh, don't. You'll be fine. I don't
know.
think you can ruin it.
No way.
It's pretty all right.
What's your goddamn, girl?
Well, my goddamn is a mixture of things.
Yeah.
And it's mostly that, don't worry, guys, my washer is fine. My 30-year-old fucking beast here is still kicking.
Still going strong?
Yeah, what was it, you ask? Oh,
I
it was a flipped breaker. Why didn't you notice, Erin? Well, because everything in my house is fucked up. And so that breaker popped, which was connected to the toaster. I should have known, right? But it wasn't connected to anything else, like the lights.
Yeah,
so
that
I
would
was like,
give it away.
it's probably the washer. And then I didn't try to turn on the dryer because I had cleaned a blanket, and so I was going to lay it out instead of trying to turn on the dryer. So I was like, I don't need the dryer, not going to try and turn it on.
And it wasn't time to make toast.
Would have known then, I guess, that the dryer, like, oh, they're both out at the same time. No, I would have known, but
No.
yeah, I didn't try to make any toast, so I didn't realize that it was also broken. Yeah, and then Brandon noticed it about midday, and that the fridge wasn't working, and he was like,
Weird.
"It's future Brandon's problem," and then he left.
With the
house.
fridge not working.
With the fridge
Told
not
no
working.
one.
Told no one. Yeah, he was like, cool. Anyway, that's noted. And then he left, and then nighttime rolled around, and I was like,
How come the
time
fridge
for
not
dinner.
working?
Yeah, and I opened the fridge, and I was like, oh, the fridge isn't working. Oh, it's a breaker. And then I text Brandon, like, oh, it's a breaker. And he was like, yeah, I saw that earlier. I was like, motherfucker.
Why didn't you flip it? God damn it.
God damn it. So, washer's working. That's good. It's back.
Congratulations. You don't have to buy a new washer.
I still want a new one. It's probably time. I should just get a new one anyway, before
ahead
it
of the game.
actually goes.
Well, it's Black Friday, so today's the day to do it.
Today is the day. Not going to do it today. Maybe
No.
Cyber Monday,
There you go.
I got too much shit going on.
That's a good option.
I'm really happy that I don't have to just suddenly drop fucking
A
too
million
much money.
grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also sad that I don't get a new washer dryer. So, ups
I like
and downs.
how your life
ups and
works.
downs.
I like how your life works. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
What's your
hey,
goddamn?
At least it works.
I know.
Oh, mine, you say? It's just that I'm fearful that I might be raising serial killers.
Oh,
and to
no.
my future children, if you're listening, you better not be. I'll be so fucking pissed if you turn out to be a serial killer, honestly.
Keep
how
it
they
under
talk
3.
Yeah, you know how they talk about like nurture versus nature or whatever? I'm pretty sure that shit's just nature because I nurture the fuck out of my kids, but some shit that I witnessed this morning has me a little concerned.
Oh, what happened?
They were playing outside, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to make a cup of coffee. And my oldest was like, Mom, will you watch us play outside? And I was like, fuck no, it's cold out there, and I haven't had coffee. So our compromise was I'd watch him from the window while it was making the coffee, whatever. But he didn't know that was the compromise. I just told him no. And then in my head, I was like, I'll watch him from the window because he's learning how to ride his bike without training wheels and shit.
Oh, fun.
So, I might witness one of his firsts. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching them interact and I can hear part of their conversation, but not all of it. You know how the wind will carry certain words around.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see my oldest is holding something and the youngest is delighted. Like fucking stoked. And I'm like, it's either a worm or a snail. And the reason I say snail is because it rained and the snails come out around here.
Yeah.
And the snails around here are like little tiny seashell snails. Like they're not like the round snails.
They're the
They've got like a
pony ones.
spiral shell
Yeah.
that like poke out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Those little guys. So those kind
Pretty
of snails.
sure those, eat snails.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure they're, a different species of snails.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. But they're not like when you see a snail like Gary or whatever. It's not
Yeah,
that kind of snail.
yeah.
It's a different kind of snail. It's got
Yeah.
like a long-horned...
Well, cone snail.
Yeah,
They call it
yeah.
a longhorn cone snail.
Yeah, very indigenous to this land.
Uh-huh.
I don't fucking know what they're called, but they're snails.
Yeah.
And the other day, my oldest had picked one up and was like, Mom, I found a snail. And I was like, cool, put it back in the grass, whatever.
Yeah,
Now
cool,
go wash
get it
your
away from
hands
me.
because I'm afraid of you getting a brain-eating bacteria that I've
Yeah.
heard about if you eat these fucking snails. So,
And I don't trust you.
I don't trust him at all. We had worms before, remember? Okay, so... Older one's holding a fucking snail, I have deduced, and the younger one thinks it's great, and the older one is like touching it or something, like poking the slimy part, and they're like giggling, having a great time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I see my older one like encouraging the younger one, and the younger one's like, this is a great fucking idea. And I see my older one place the snail on the ground, and my younger one on his scooter fucking blasts over that motherfucker.
Oh, no.
Crushes the snail. They're giggling. They think this is the greatest game they've ever created.
Oh, God, it's so sad.
I'm horrified. Like, I'm the hippie mom that's like, don't hurt anything that's alive.
Oh, no.
But I also come from like a family of like, we hunt, and
but you weren't
plenty
hunting
of
snails, okay? He's not going to eat them off the fucking ground.
I have salted some snails in my day. And
We've
slugs.
all had our moments.
Yeah, serial killer moments, exactly. And I just watched my 2 sweet little young boys have their serial killer moment.
Oh, no.
And they thought it was the fucking greatest thing ever. So the older one comes up, laughing, delighted, super excited. And you can tell he's trying to get his younger brother in trouble, but he thinks it's great. So he's like, Mom, he killed a snail. Like, he did it. And I was like, did you? Was that a snail? Like, figuring it out. And he's like, yeah, but he did it. And I'm like, babe, I watched you convince him that we should do this. And then he's just like giggling like I did. And I'm like, you guys are psycho. Don't kill living things. Like, don't do that to living things. And they're like, it's just a snail. And like laughing and like, look at it. And it's all squished on the pavement. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, it's so sad.
You guys are awful. And then I kept saying, like, that thing was alive and you just ran it over. And I could see them getting sadder and sadder. And then I was like, okay, I'm going a little too hard on this. Like, it's a fucking snail. So I'm like, all right, like, just don't fucking do it anymore.
Don't do that. Don't be fucking psychos.
But they might be, because they really were delighted.
Yeah. My baby girl was playing with a roly-poly one day and out on our driveway or whatever, and I was like, okay, it's time to go inside. Like, we gotta go. Put it down. We gotta go
put them
inside.
away.
And she put it on the ground and then stomped it out.
They're psychos.
Like, we're done playing with this. Like, bro.
Oh my God. Where do you get this
You don't
from?
have to do that.
Yeah, you didn't have to
He
end
could have
its
gone
life.
home to his family.
Oh my God. And all I keep thinking of is like, that snail, is it really dead, or is it just like smushed out and withering on the pavement right now? A
God.
slow, painful death.
No, he's over the Rainbow Bridge. He's in a better place.
I hope so, because I
whatever they
would
say.
really like to apologize for my psycho children. I did not teach them that.
No, that's an experiment that, like, kids go through, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all kids will.
We've been there.
Yeah, exactly. You salted some snails. I did the ants with the magnifying glass. I also salted snails.
Yeah.
Like, why are they getting out of my demon circle? I made it with salt.
Yeah. Oh no.
I didn't put it on him. He's crawling over it.
Why is he melting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking kids.
Yeah,
Jesus
we're the
Christ.
worst.
And now I'm just like, oh man, everything they do, I'm like serial killer. And then I tell the oldest, hey man, go wash your hands, because I know that if you eat snails, in some snail, I don't know which one, but I know it will kill you. Like, I've seen it. Like, a kid eats a snail on a dare and dies. I was the kid.
There was the kid that ate a slug. It was a slug, though.
Was it a slug?
And he was in a coma for like
Yeah.
15 years or some shit. Then he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, I was the kid that would throw in $1 to get that kid to eat the cricket, you know? Like, I was there for that.
100%. Do you remember Trent from high school who ate we were in oceanography class and we were dissecting something, and he took whatever fucking brain that was out of the squid or whatever it was.
Don't do it.
And he ate it.
Trent from high school is the kid who would get the brain-eating bacteria.
100%.
Trent from high school, if you ever hear this,
dangled
your
it
legacy.
over his head and like, and then got it in there. And I remember I was standing by the teacher at the time, and we both looked over and saw it. And then she was like, what the fuck? And got so mad. And she's like, you're gonna get a disease.
Oh my God. Was that Miss?
I don't remember her name.
Starts with an H. Maybe an H, but she was like the cool science teacher.
Yeah. I don't remember her name, but she was really cool. She was the oceanography teacher. I liked her a lot.
I never had oceanography.
I tried to convince her to name her. She was pregnant, and I was like, "You should name your kid Erin, boy or girl."
That's a
Works
great
for
idea.
everyone. She was like, "Probably not."
I probably won't. Oh, you should.
But either way, I watched some kid get a brain-eating bacteria. It
For
probably hasn't
sure.
hit me yet,
That's going to
though.
be my children.
Uh-huh.
God damn it. I'm trying everything to make sure they're not that kid. Anyway, so then I'm like, hey, go wash your hands. So the oldest washes his hands because he's like, wants to do everything right and doesn't want to brain eating bacteria. He thinks it's all fun and games until he's like, okay, but really, should I go wash my hands? And I'm like, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And then the youngest, I'm like, go wash your hands. And he's like, I don't want to. I'm like throwing a fit. And I'm like,
You touch snails, dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, did he touch the snail? And he's telling me no, but the oldest is like, he for sure touched the snail. And I'm thinking, I watched him. I didn't see him touch the snail at all. I saw the older one doing it, and the older one's a little fucking liar all the goddamn time right now. So I just gave up. So the youngest might get a brain-eating bacteria.
Well, as long as he doesn't put his hands in his mouth very often. Like when the brain-eating bacteria is on his fingertips.
Yeah, hopefully not. We'll find out.
I don't know how it works, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll
what
be
are the odds,
so
you know?
sad.
Yeah.
Fucking parenting is hard.
Parenting is really hard.
Really hard.
Yeah.
But I witnessed that whole thing and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, all right, I guess.
Did he wet the bed? Like did he wet the bed?
Is
He's killing the
starting
animals.
fires?
Yeah. What's the other one?
Starting fires.
Oh, starting fires. Oh, my oldest loves fires. My oldest is on the fucking one-way track
He is.
to serial killer.
He starts wetting the bed. You got to watch out.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty good. Although at first, the whole transition was a little rough going from diapers to not. But I feel like that's normal.
Pretty normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's like 10, 11, 12.
Starts pissing the bed.
Starts pissing the bed, get real concerned.
Oh my God. No, but every time we have a fire, he's like, Mom, can I light this stick on fire? Can I
get
put
it,
this
though.
paper in the fire?
I get it.
I know. I always allow it.
He's like, yeah, I want to do it too. Give me one.
And then when there's other kids around, I like allow it. And then I'm like, oh, hold up. Is it okay? Because now your kid wants the stick.
Is it okay that they're all doing it now? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let them
yes.
have it.
All right. You ready to talk about murder?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So here on episode 272.
Whoa!
Can you believe it?
I can.
I cannot. I'm going to tell you about Sam Kastanis.
Castellanos.
Okay? You know I don't have any information on the before times.
All right.
So we're just fucking jumping right in.
Love it. We don't fucking need to waste our time.
No, we don't. We just want the meat and potatoes of the story.
We wasted our time talking about other shit.
Probably less potatoes than last episode.
You gonna get any meat with those potatoes?
Funny you ask. Nobody gets it. Okay.
Nobody does. Unless they were into... What was that guy's name?
John?
Yeah, John.
Handy.
Fun facts by John Handy or whatever. I
Yeah.
almost said
John Hardy?
Yeah.
Ed Hardy?
Ed Hardy. Yeah.
Okay. We've got Sam, who was 43 years old, and Margaret, who was 38 years old. And they had 3 children.
Marge.
They had 3 children. Melissa, who was 11 years old, Clinton, who was 9, and Christine, who was 6.
I feel like you don't meet a lot of Clintons anymore. Little
sure
baby
don't.
Clintons.
No.
That was
well,
a big name in our high school years.
We had a Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big name.
He
You know?
was a big guy.
Didn't know one Clinton.
I did know one Clinton. He was a very tall person.
He was.
So they lived in West Jordan, Salt Lake County, Utah.
That was a lot of names for a location.
West Jordan, Salt
Yeah.
Lake County, not the city. It's just the county lines. It's outside of the city of Salt Lake, I'm guessing.
Is it?
I'm guessing because it's in the county.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're so smart.
Utah. Thank you. So they were part of the LDS, obviously, because
Duh.
Utah.
Uh-oh.
But that's not actually really relevant to the
Oh,
story.
okay. It just makes us judge.
No, there's just like one part where I'm like, and the church says,
Oh, yeah. See, in my mind, I'm like, oh, man, that poor wife.
oh, that poor wife.
Oh,
She's
poor
got
Marge.
3 kids already. Yeah.
Some people love it, though.
Some people love it. Some people are destined for it.
Yeah, like when you grow up like that and you're like, oh, that's totally normal.
Couldn't be
And then
me.
you have us outsiders that are just like, ugh, do you know how much better life could be if you didn't have a dick for a husband? Not to say all Mormon men are dicks. I'm definitely stereotyping.
You're
And this
digging
is
a hole for us
Stacy's-
here.
Stacy's opinion, in case Erin doesn't agree, but I'm pretty sure she does. She's just not saying it.
Listen,
If you're a nice Mormon and it's really true, will you tell me? Because like everything I ever hear is like, I feel like you're in a cult.
I've met nice Mormons, but
Well,
I
they're
don't.
all nice people, but
Yeah.
like, are they faking it? Like, I feel, but every woman Mormon I meet, I'm like, blink twice if you need me
I
to
know
help
a
you get
girl
out.
who switched to Mormonism to be with her husband. Mormonism?
They always
Mormonite?
do. Because no female gets any benefit from being Mormon, from what I understand.
Yeah, I don't
I don't know of a single beneficiary deduction.
They probably don't have to work. That sounds nice.
Yeah, but then you have like 500 fucking kids.
Yeah, until
and
you
your
just don't.
husband gets to rule the house.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Unless you get like a really super awesome guy.
I feel like you could get a guy that would like share the not responsibility, but the like executive decision making, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just like any other thing. There's a spectrum, right?
Of
like
course.
super temple Mormons.
Yeah.
Mormons.
I'm sure there's also
Also-
the ones that have like the 50-year-old man and the 15-year-old girl or whatever, and those are scary and sad.
Oh, I watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City too.
Oh.
So like, I'm also judging by that. Like what they say, because there's one chick on there that's like left the church, and she's just like, I feel like myself now. Like I was a fake back there. Yeah. So I feel like in my mind, I'm obviously stereotyping off of one person's account, but in documentaries I've seen. But in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, how is this a thing? Just like the Church of Scientology.
How is this a thing?
Not to super compare. And now I've made a lot of enemies. And I'm really sorry. I love you, even if that is your religion and that's how you choose to live your life. I still love you and respect you, but like blink twice and I will come bring you a soda.
Would you like some caffeine?
And I'll give you a girls' night to remember.
Ew.
Ew. Away from your fucking kids.
That's all we ever need. Okay, so ready?
Yeah. They're Mormon.
They're Mormon. So they had just sold their home and bought a new one. And they were on the tail end of a week-long vacation where everybody was due to go back to school like the next day, right? The kids are going back to school. Husband's going back to work. I'm pretty sure the mom didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom. But also just reason to be excited that like everyone's
leaving
the
the house.
Yeah. The next day, on the morning of November 17th, 1991, Sam was enjoying his coffee out in the garage while his wife and kids hung out and got ready inside.
He's like, get them the fuck away from me.
He was like, I just need some fucking peace and quiet. It was a detached garage, so he's like, I'm just going to be out in the fucking shed or whatever, right? Like, don't come near me. Don't talk to me.
That sounds glorious.
Yeah.
The man gets all the goddamn glory.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got to go make that bacon or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's fucking chilling out in there in the morning, drinking his coffee. When he finishes his coffee and he goes inside, he walks into a horrific scene.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
So.
That took an unexpected turn so quickly.
Quite unexpected.
Was he really drinking his coffee?
Oh, was he?
All right, let's hear it.
So, his 3 children had been brutally beaten with a hammer.
Oh, my God. Not a hammer.
Stabbed with a knife.
Oh, no.
And his wife had been stabbed in the chest.
Oh, God. Why? Seems pretty personal.
They were all dead.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Yeah.
I don't think they survived a hammer and stabbing attack.
Well, like.
At the age of 11, 8, and 3 or whatever.
6. But, yeah, no, they didn't fare well through it.
Pull through. That's so sad.
Very sad. And I'm really unclear on this part, but somehow the police were called for a child with a cut on their finger.
Okay.
So when they showed up,
they
were like...
He called the police and was like, Jesus Christ, you will not believe this cut on this kid's finger.
Blood everywhere.
Oh, my God. Not Jesus Christ. John the Baptist. I don't know their name. I don't know who they believe in.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Not Jesus. Isn't it Jesus Christ? I don't
Probably.
fucking know.
I don't fucking know religion. We know this already, which is why I'm a terrible person to have a microphone.
Yeah. No one should have given us a microphone. That should be illegal.
Well, you are now dumber for having listened. You're aware.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so the police show up and they're like, okay, where's this cut finger at? Holy fucking shit.
Wow, that's worse than what I thought.
A scene. Yeah.
So they come with like a first aid kit with a big Band-Aid and some Neosporin.
Right? They're like, we got this.
Did you put pressure on it?
They show up, they see the scene, and Sam was like, yeah, I was just out in the garage.
Having my coffee.
Having my coffee, being a dad, not paying attention to the morning routine or whatever, you know? And I came in here and I found this. And the police were like, cool.
Checks out.
Why don't you go ahead and have a seat in the back of our cruiser?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be arrested immediately.
Do you want some cookies?
Yeah. And so they're like, fuck that. This guy is clearly a murderer. He is arrested immediately.
Yeah,
right?
I'm suspicious.
Yeah. The 9-year-old boy was found in an upstairs bedroom with multiple blunt and sharp force injuries to his head.
Now, listen, I was hoping you weren't going to fill me in, but okay.
This is it. That's all you get.
Okay.
Margaret, the wife, and the 6 and 11-year-old girls were found in the basement bedroom.
Oh, my God. Basement.
Margaret had been stabbed to death, and the 2 girls had been bludgeoned and stabbed to death.
Oh, my God. Who could do that to babies?
Babies?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine. Margaret was found with a knife and a hammer laid out in front of her body. So Margaret had blood all over her hands, but in that blood, she also had 19 hairs in it. And initially, the police gave the hairs over to an expert, and they asked him to determine if any of these hairs came from Sam, right?
Yeah.
And he looked at them in the bag, and he was like, nope, not these hairs.
In
not
the
his.
bag?
Yeah, he just, mush it around a little bit, like, yeah, no, these aren't his. Definitely not.
What the fuck?
And that's it, right?
What?
And then 14 months later, so like now the trial, right?
Jesus Christ.
14 months later during the trial,
we should test these.
He was like, I guess I'll put him under some slides. So he goes to run the test with a real microscope and stuff.
Not just his fucking eyeballs.
Not just his
like,
eyeballs.
Don't worry about giving me equipment. I'm superhuman.
I got this. And
activate microscopic vision.
his like go-go gadget eyes.
Yeah. stupid.
Well, he has now determined that 18 of those hairs that were in her hand came from the 11-year-old Melissa's head,
What?
but they were cut on both ends, which no one explained. They were just like, yeah, those were not pulled. They were cut on both ends.
Do you think maybe from, like, she got stabbed or something?
Possibly.
And she was, like, holding her head, like, oh, my God. I would like to imagine that the mom has no idea that her babies are injured, because that's horrifying.
Yeah.
But, like, what if the stab and cut the hairs, and then she was, like, holding something together?
It could have been.
Are they going to say she did it?
So...
Did she go crazy and then hammer herself in the chest or stab
God.
herself?
Well, she was just stabbed.
Yeah.
But okay, so there were
Sorry.
19 hairs in her hand. 18 of them came from Melissa. They were cut on both ends, so not pulled from the head, but like
Sliced.
fucking sliced somehow onto her
Okay.
hand. And one of the hairs, just one hair, came from Sam's head with the follicle still attached.
But you're in the house of Sam, right?
So they could be anywhere or
Yeah.
everywhere. Like his
Yeah.
hairs would be everywhere. It's not definitive in saying anything.
Hey, I hate to say it, but that guy was right. They weren't. I mean, only one was Sam's.
I know,
You
right?
could look at it
Yeah.
and go, none of these.
But a stray hair could have come from anywhere. Obviously, it's not a death sentence. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
happens to be there, but it raises questions. And then the defense looked into this expert, and they were confused at his seemingly sudden change of heart, right?
Yeah.
They also spoke to some of his students, and they said that he had often said, quote, "A well-stuck-to lie is as good as the truth,"
Oh, no.
which doesn't sound like something an honest person says.
We should get a second opinion.
Yeah, a little weird, a little fishy. And then when he was confronted about saying that, he said that he used to say it as a way to describe the unfortunate side of his profession that some people are guns for hire and will say anything they're paid to.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying
that's what he is?
that's what he's doing or that he took money to lie or that he is lying. I'm just saying he might be talking too much.
But, like, yeah, he probably did.
But, like, it kind of sounds fucking suspicious, especially when you put those two sentences together, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So
It's concerning.
the defense was also super skeptical that this one hair that wasn't like the others just suddenly popped up a year later, right? Like you had
Right.
all this evidence, you looked at it, presumably you looked at it well enough to be like, yeah, this one has a follicle.
Yeah.
The other ones don't. Like that's something you could clearly pick out, even in a bag.
Yeah. You could
So
see
then,
it.
like,
if you're an
how'd this one hair just randomly get there? It's a little suspicious.
Okay. Oh, so we're thinking, like, evidence is planted?
That's what I'm kind of hinting at.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So as far as a motive, the prosecutor alleged that everything from PTSD from Sam being in Vietnam
Okay.
caused him to snap and brutally murder his entire family.
Jesus.
Even though he had never actually seen combat in Vietnam, he was like a radio technician or something.
Okay.
And so kind of unlikely.
Does he have PTSD?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, he was not diagnosed with it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And then all the way to that he was struggling financially, and since his wife was diagnosed with a mental illness, that he had to take on more responsibilities around the house, and he just couldn't handle the pressure, right? Like of being.
Oh, no, she has a
dad.
mental illness. Is it depression from being married to a Mormon man? Sorry, I'm really sorry, guys.
You're going hard
so
on the
hard.
Mormons.
If you're like super LDS, though, it's kind of culty.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know that they are.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
true.
anything about them.
I'm speculating
I don't know
wildly,
anything about them.
which is
Except
why
for
we're here.
everything that I've read.
Okay, anyway, so she has a mental illness.
Yes, she was diagnosed with a mental illness. And
Okay.
so he had to pick up some responsibilities. And now they're like, well, obviously he had to do the fucking laundry, didn't know how. He got really stressed out,
See,
murdered
Now
everybody.
you're doing it,
Well, I'm just doing it to men in general.
and I agree,
At least I'm not targeting anyone.
like a dick.
I'm also kidding.
Heaven for fucking bid.
I know.
Sorry, guys. We
Here's
love
the
you.
thing. According to close family and friends, starting about 8 months before the murders, Margaret's personality started changing.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess it all started when she met the neighbor who had multiple personality disorder.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. And the LDS church told Margaret, like, hey, probably don't get involved with that person. Like, they're not emotionally stable. So,
See, this is what I don't like, though, the church telling you what you should or should not do.
yeah, but
That's
if
what a
she's
church is for.
asking...
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's asking for advice, like, hey, I want to talk to my neighbor, and she seems pretty cool. She's a little different.
She's got a couple personalities.
There's a couple people floating around in there.
Yeah.
But it seems
Don't we all?
all right. Don't we all? And then the church was like,
Hard pass.
You should probably just pass on that one. And she was like, fuck that. I'm still going to be friends with this person, right?
Okay.
So she ended up still becoming close with this neighbor. And then Margaret started telling her friends and family some disturbing things.
Uh-oh.
She started telling them how she thought that she was an unfit mother and wife.
Aw.
She told them that she loved Sam, but she felt that he deserved better.
Aw, that's so sad.
And then she started to kind of turn against the neighbor, and she started to get paranoid and think that the neighbor was watching her and stalking her.
Uh-oh.
She thought her phone was bugged by the neighbor,
Uh-oh.
and she told her sister, all I tried to do is help her, and how can this turn out so bad? And I'm probably not going to make it through the end of the year.
Do you think it was the neighbor?
Bum, 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 bum.
Uh-oh. What's up with this neighbor?
So this
Change
neighbor...
your locks, girl. What's going on?
I don't know. Well, the neighbor is actually the reason that, remember in the beginning I said they had just recently moved homes?
Yeah.
They bought a new house and moved across town or whatever to get away from this neighbor.
Jesus, that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
I want to know more about this neighbor.
yeah, I kind of do too. And I don't have anything on them.
Like, is it real?
Yeah.
Is it exaggerated?
real? I imagine she's real if they
If
move
you gotta
houses
move,
and stuff.
yeah. Jeez, that's kind of scary.
So she recognized that the neighbor is bad for
Yeah.
her, right?
Okay.
Like, or at least bad for her mental health.
Yeah, that's scary.
But she still believed that she was an unfit mom, and she even went so far as to file for divorce and serve Sam a week before the murders.
Oh, I might be onto something with all my hatred.
So at trial, my prejudices might be right.
Just saying.
So at trial, some of Margaret's friends and family testified that she was mentally ill and at times suicidal. She even told her mother, quote, you might have to raise these kids.
Oh my God.
And when her mom was like, fuck that, no, they need a mom. They need
Yeah.
their mom. You can't do that. They need their mom.
Yeah.
Then Margaret was like, well, I can't leave the kids with you. I can't leave them with Sam, and I can't go on.
Oh no.
Which is
So she takes him out with her with a hammer and a knife.
that's a horrible fucking
She
way
knifed herself. Like that's make some Kool-Aid or some shit.
for everybody.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
everybody.
I don't know. As a mother,
Yeah.
I can't imagine hurting my children. Like,
No,
you've been so pissed off at them and stuff, but even then, when I just, like, look at them and I raise my voice or, like, say something disciplinary or whatever, I immediately feel bad. Their little face sinks, and I'm like,
know.
you little fucking shit. You got me, Like,
Yeah.
it makes you feel terrible. I can't even imagine
No way.
hurting them.
No way. That's some serious illnesses.
Yeah. So, upon closer inspection of the crime scene, right, it was discovered that Margaret had blood from all three of the children on herself.
Oh my God.
And she was also the only person without defensive wounds on her body.
Oh my God. She did this to her kids? She stabbed herself to death?
Girl.
Jesus.
So they brought in a blood spatter expert, Ron Englert,
Mm-hmm.
and he concluded that the spatter showed that Sam had killed Margaret.
Okay.
But the jury was like, I don't really believe you.
Really?
Yeah, they said that he had a flashy presentation. He was too flashy of a person, and the presentation had a video reenactment, and they're basically saying, like, he's just making it up. It's his opinion on what he thinks happened, and it's not really actually explaining anything. None of it's coming from fact.
Really?
But, yeah, he spent a lot of money on this presentation and stuff, and the jury was not buying it. They're
Really?
like, they don't believe him. He's kind of sleazy, whatever. Like, they didn't believe him. I guess he also wouldn't concede to any other possibilities, like during cross-examination or anything, where every other expert was like, yeah, granted, of course, it's possible that this or that happened or whatever. He was just like, nope, ain't no fucking way.
Like he came across too arrogant and too intense.
Too
and they were
arrogant,
just like,
too set in what he was thinking, too. And there was no room for error. And everyone around him was like, yeah, but, like, there fucking is.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're an
Like,
expert.
we don't really know.
Exactly. And so he came across too strong. The other significant twist in this story,
Ooh, we got another one.
oh, there's a twist, is that Margaret had 4 stab wounds in her chest.
Okay.
And being stabbed in the heart is her final cause of death.
Yeah.
She also had the hammer and the knife placed next to each other, like in front of her body. And the prosecution alleged that there is no way for the weapons to fall that way if she had committed suicide. But on top of that, how does one stab themselves 4 times in the chest?
Like you miss 4 times and then the 4th time you got it and then you lay the knife down gently before you die?
Pretty much. Or like, how? How did that all happen, you know?
Yeah.
So-
well, we've done a story before where it was suicide by knife, or that's the theory, but like,
So in that one that we're talking about, weren't there hesitation wounds? Or we talked about hesitation wounds? Yeah. So one doctor said that one of the stab wounds on her chest was shallow and looked like it was a hesitation wound.
Oh, my
which would lead
God.
to the suicide theory. You know, you're building up the gumption to do it, or you're building up the courage to do it, or the adrenaline or whatever.
Oh, God, that freaks me out.
And the first stab is not as aggressive as it's
when you
needed
figure
to
out how
be.
hard you got to really wham that thing in.
Exactly. And that's like considered a hesitation wound.
Ugh.
But
I don't feel good. Gross.
another doctor came in and said that they believe that that wound was actually the last wound because there was little blood associated with it. And
Oh.
according to them, they believe that if you were considering a suicide, that her arm would have been twisted, like flexed backward, really steep, in
Like-
order to make like the wound in her body that
Oh,
way.
God.
Like her angle of her hand would have been in a very awkward way. Again, horrifying.
That's
Yeah.
insane. So, like, somebody stabbed her.
Maybe
I mean, she could have done it.
she could have done
She
it.
could have.
But
More realistic, though, is that she likely was stabbed.
maybe.
Bum, 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 bum.
She
But
was-
did she stab all the kids and then her husband walked in and was like, what the fuck? And then stabbed her? And then he's like,
And got
I
the
was just
knife
having
from
my
her,
coffee.
but she didn't have any defensive wounds on her. I don't know.
Maybe she was like, can you just take me out? And he was like, yeah, you just killed all my kids. I'll
Yeah,
do that,
right? Like
fine."
it's an easy one.
Yeah.
She was also the only victim that wasn't bludgeoned with the hammer, which I would think leads to the suicide theory.
All right.
But
Or whoever was doing the murdering was like, wow, hammer's not that effective.
how
Knife
could you
works
hammer
better.
your 3 children, though, and then realize?
But what if they're not children? Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was the
Oh.
neighbor.
Yeah. That was another theory, was that it was just somebody else, like
Yeah.
a random, and he happened to be in the garage, and this murderer came in, murdered everybody, and then took off.
Fucking took off for no reason.
Yeah. But either way,
Wow. When was this?
Sam-
What year? Ish.
1991.
Oh, God.
Sam was put on trial, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was found not guilty.
Wow, really?
He went back to work at the same company that he had to quit from before because he's like, gotta pay for my legal bills and stuff, gotta quit his
Oh,
job, had to
shit.
take out loans, whatever, paid for his legal defense. And Margaret's parents and family stick by Sam.
Really?
And believe his version of events.
Did he have
And-
any, like, cuts or anything on his hands? Did they look?
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they looked. I hope they looked, but nothing was said that he had anything on him. He was just there. And
Was it normal for him to have coffee in the garage?
I think probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like his little office space.
Okay.
So the parents, Margaret's parents, also said, like, even if they could be convinced that she didn't commit suicide, that they believe that Sam would never hurt the kids or Margaret, that
See,
it
it's
wasn't
being a
him.
man in the LDS church, dude.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all we know.
So
So
what the fuck?
he was found
His
innocent.
entire family was murdered.
While he was outside
And
having
they're
coffee
like,
in the
for
garage.
sure the wife committed suicide by knife.
4 times in the chest.
4 times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then laid the knife gently down in front of her.
Yes. Placed.
Didn't leave it in.
Nope.
Now, when you get stabbed in the heart, is it immediate?
So remember when that guy in football died for a second?
Yeah. For a second.
You have like, I think you have like 15 seconds or something before the blood, like,
Stops.
yeah, like stops pumping or like becomes enough that you'll pass out or die or whatever, right?
Okay.
So
Did
I
they
think
like
you have.
fingerprint the knife? Like, what are we working with?
They were just like, there he is, get him, book him, Lou, and then that was it. That was the investigation. And they're like, check out this sweet blood spatter expert. And then that guy just shit the bed. And so everyone was like, no, this doesn't make any sense. So I think the
Interesting.
investigation and experts that they brought in, even with the hairs and stuff, like, nah, it's not his. But is it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here? You know? Do the actual test. Do
Now,
the
is
actual
this
investigation.
in a town where the LDS church,
I
a
don't-
lot of members are part of the church?
I don't
See,
have...
this is why my prejudice
I
is
don't have
coming
the
into play.
answers to that, but it is in Salt Lake County.
So I feel
I'm
like,
guessing
yes.
that there are a lot of church members there. But
Yes.
I don't know.
I love a good conspiracy theory. So my
I do
mind
know
is
that about
going, yeah, my mind is going like 100% it was him.
Yeah.
And he snapped, or the wife snapped and killed the kids. And then, I mean, I get that she was suicidal and stuff. And I feel like that has to do a lot with her fucking life that she was put into.
That you have built.
that I know nothing about.
So she was suicidal. She had a mental illness. I believe there was probably some kind of postpartum depression kind of
Sure.
situation,
Yeah.
right? If not just full-blown depression. But I find it hard to believe that she stabbed herself 4 times. That part to me sticks out.
It's weird. It doesn't.
Even if
fit.
you had killed the kids and done all of that, I feel like the suicide part would be different.
Yeah. And just the fact that she doesn't have any defense wounds, maybe she was like, you know, like holding her babies after and freaking out. And then that's why she has the blood on everywhere. But
One of the kids was found in the upstairs bedroom, though, and she was found in the basement with the other 2 girls.
Maybe they ran, like saw what was happening.
She
ran
had
into the
blood of
basement.
all the kids on her.
Yeah, but like saw what was happening, grab her baby, like, oh my God. And then like grabs the other kids, runs in the basement, try to get away from the dad, like to hide from him. And then they corner him down there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there was a lot of investigation still left on the table.
Oh, yeah, sounds like it.
Like, I
They
don't know.
mushed around a bag of hairs and was like,
Yeah.
These
yeah.
aren't his.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, footprints or him, his wounds, his hand wounds, anything like
Yeah.
that. Like,
does he have
when you stab
anger
someone,
issues?
Yeah.
Does that sound like him? Or is he really just like the nicest guy ever? And this really is
But-
a fact of mental illness.
And that's kind of where, like, his lawyers and everyone went, was that she had asked for a divorce the week before. If he wanted
got
to
a good
get out,
motive.
he could have just gotten out with the kids because she was
Yeah,
like, I'm depressed. I
But
don't want
divorce
this.
isn't an option. In like, if you're super Mormon, divorce is not an option. It's like
That's-
literally life or death.
That's fair.
Or like it's considered a failure to the church.
Yeah.
You know? And so
Yeah.
like if he is an elder or something, maybe not an elder, I don't know, but if he is part, like a big member of the church, that would be something that's like, I'd rather all my family die than that.
That's insane.
I know, that's why I'm like obsessed with, I know nothing about religion, but I'm obsessed with like documentaries and stuff like that. Like I've listened to a few podcasts on the LDS church.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is why I went so hard. But I really don't know anybody personally. So sorry if that's wildly misconstrued in the media and I'm helping portray that image. But like, I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's pretty common knowledge.
I've heard some of the things that you're saying before, so I kind of know that, but
I wonder if that's it though.
But
or
I don't know. The whole article and everything, it really didn't go ham on any of it. The only part that it mentioned about the LDS was that like they were like, maybe don't talk to that neighbor, which seems like solid advice looking back
yeah.
to the neighbor that ended up stalking them. They had to move or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's that. I don't know how involved they actually were in the church or if they were
Big members.
yeah,
or
like
whatever.
big part
yeah.
of it or anything, or if they went all the time, which I think you kind of have to if you're Mormon. I'm pretty sure that's like a requirement, but I have no
know.
idea.
Yeah. I don't really know how that
Yeah.
works. Damn. That's
Isn't
fucked
that
up.
crazy?
That's so sad.
Yeah.
The whole family.
Whole family.
And the guy's just on with his life now.
Uh-huh.
Does he have a new family?
I don't know. I didn't look, but probably.
That's traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you did do that and you got away with it though? You'd feel like invincible.
Buy a lottery ticket. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right?
But when you have a police force that or investigators that aren't willing to, you know, investigate, then
Maybe because they're part of the church.
maybe I didn't say
Stacy's
that.
wild theory.
I didn't say that.
Stacy's wild theory.
Stacy's Wild Theory. This is the episode's going to be called Stacy's Wild Ride.
Honestly, really sorry.
Mr. Frog's Wild Ride.
Really sorry if you're super Mormon. You could say that about any religion, though. There's extremes on every side.
There are extremes
Yeah.
in every religion.
Even atheists.
Yeah, that's why I just step back.
Even just quiet. Only when there's a mic around.
Step back from all religions is what I meant.
Yeah. I'm like, I heard they're fucking batshit. And everybody's going to be mad. I'm like, well, listen, I just heard what we heard. Hey, speaking of hearing what you heard, did you watch the Matt Rife comedy special yet?
I did.
Yeah.
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 How do you feel about it?
I thought it was great, but
I
I
thought it
also
was funny.
didn't know him on TikTok or anything, but
Yeah.
everybody's fucking pissed.
Yeah, he just got canceled.
Dude, the whole time I was watching him, I was like, he should come on our podcast. Like, he's us in dude form.
Yeah, I think he's funny, but I also appreciate like fucked up humor because
Yeah.
everyone was like mad
It's a fucking joke.
everyone was mad that he had a domestic violence joke, which
It's a fucking joke.
understand.
Yeah.
Don't domestic violence people, but we make fun of things we shouldn't make fun of.
100%. That's why I'm like, oh man, yeah, for sure. Like, we've already been canceled like 800 times.
Exactly.
But, like, it's the reason we'll never be a big podcast.
That people have told us to our face.
Yeah.
Like, you need to not do this.
But
you
like,
can't be
for
you.
a joke, come on.
Yeah,
It's
but
fun.
it's to me the joke is always a little bit worth it, and it's funny, and I thought it was funny, and
Every time I see that, because he even talks about like, I don't give a fuck, cancel me, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
you know. Every time I'm like, that is Erin and I,
Yeah.
100%. Like, but within reason,
But-
like we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings,
But-
I will for the joke.
see, but that's where I'm at. I'll make the joke, and I'm like, I'm really sorry for hurting your feelings on the joke. I just thought it was really funny, and I needed to get it out of my head,
Yeah.
so that that's now in your head.
Yeah.
That's where my kind of thing ends. I won't really back it until I die, and I think he went that way.
Yeah,
where
like,
it
he'll
was
back
like
it till he
everyone
dies.
was real mad, and then he like posted an apology on his Instagram. Did you hear that part? He posted an apology on his Instagram with a link for people to buy special needs helmets.
Oh, okay.
To
So
be like,
he doubled down.
Yeah, he doubled down, being like,
Like, you need a helmet because you're too sensitive.
yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
you don't get the joke. And
See,
yeah.
even then, I'm like, huh, he just doubled down. Like, I'm not hurt by it.
No, but I could see that community too being very sensitive about that, and it's touchy. You already went touchy, and then you're going touchier against people
See,
who are already mad.
I like that though, because we live in a world. Listen, everybody don't cancel me because I get it. Like, I don't want to, I'm one of genuinely the nicest people ever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make a terrible joke, but if you came to me and you're like, that really hurt my feelings, I would cry with you and feel so bad.
I would feel terrible if I
Yeah.
actually made you feel bad.
But like, I fucking hate that we have to be so careful about every single thing. Like, I get it. I never want to single a person out.
Yeah.
But like, fucking lighten up.
yeah,
Chill.
Brandon
You
just
can
told
do
me-
shit to my expense too. I
Yeah.
got the thick skin.
And I'll take
And
it.
if I tell you, wow, that really hurt my feelings, maybe that's a little bit of something I need to look at. You know, like, if my feelings were hurt so fucking bad.
yeah. Brandon just told me because my mom has passed away, and I make
She did.
jokes about it often.
Yeah.
Not like, haha, I'm not happy. I'm
No,
very
no.
sad about
No.
it. It's a
the
sad
way
thing.
to cope with it.
But it's how I handle it. Is I joke about
like,
things.
Mom, can you pass the gravy at Thanksgiving? Oh, never mind. She's dead. You know?
I got it.
Yeah.
I found her phone just like 2 days ago,
Aw.
right? And so then I turned it on and plugged it in yesterday and stuff. And
Oh,
I
because
had
you
it.
wanted a good cry, huh?
Oh yeah, you know what don't you need on a fucking holiday? And so I plugged it in and I was looking at it, whatever, and we had it out on the table. And my son was like, "Whose phone is this?" And I was like, "Oh, that was my mom's phone." And he goes, "Like, did she just leave it?" And I was like, "Yeah, she just left it." And Brandon looked at me like, "You're so fucking insensitive," or like, "Why are you so blunt?" And I'm like, "Well, she didn't take it with her."
It's still fucking here.
What do you mean? And I'm laughing, and my kid doesn't get the joke because
Yeah.
he's just like, whatever, like, yeah, she left it here. He understands that she has
Is gone.
passed away, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, just the way that I talk about it, I think
Oh,
Brandon
yeah.
thinks I'm very
Same.
insensitive, and he's
Same.
like, can't believe you said that to my grandpa. And
But
I'm
that's
like,
who
I
we
can't believe
are.
your grandpa didn't laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe what a lame-o.
Yeah.
Can't have a lighten up and have a good time. Yeah. There's
It's
a
my
very-
mom.
I think there's a very select few of us. And I think we found it in our goddamn fam.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, he had a much bigger audience, and they did not all agree with him, so
I know, but I mean, Matt, you could be our friend anytime. What's up?
what's up?
We got
Oh,
the same
man.
humor, my friend.
Yeah,
We'll laugh at all your jokes.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Even if they are not very tasteful.
No, they will be insensitive and untasteful. But also, I mean, do you, man? That's your career. He seems to be
Crushing it. Although half
Letting
the
it
time when
go.
he was talking about his good looks, I'm like, as soon as somebody does that, I feel like you're arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just pointing out your flaws.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, you have a butt chin.
Yeah, like, it's just your fucking hair, bro. It is really nice. But, like, if you go balding, you better figure at least you're funny, you know?
At least you're funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to check out pictures pertaining to Erin's case, go to our social media. We're on Instagram,
Instaban.
Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. Our handle is at ISGD Podcast. If you want to email us, you could do that at isgdpodcast@gmail.com or snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
9. And we love you guys, and we hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Happy
If you celebrated,
Thanksgiving.
if you didn't, hope you had a great day.
Bye.